Welcome to Let the Boys Watch, an entertainment podcast brought to you by Going Gray Productions. I'm one of your hosts. My name is Robbie. And on this week's episode, there was no poll. It was Bobby's birthday week.
Just your poll, baby.
So just my 4-inch pole. And it was Bobby's pick. So Bobby picked the 2010 drama, The Social Network, written by Aaron Sorkin, directed by David Fincher, starring Jesse Eisenberg, Andrew Garfield, Justin Timberlake, Armie Hammer, Max Minghella, and Rooney Mara. Alongside me, his good friend, good cousin Benny. How we feeling?
Feeling good. I wish I was a little closer so I could give you a little poke.
It's gonna be my joke, you fuck. 2 seconds in.
There we go.
2 seconds in. Do you want to redo the beginning?
No,
I mean, might as well.
absolutely not.
Okay. I'm sorry.
And alongside us, good friend of ours and one of our co-hosts, Ryan. Ryan, how we doing?
Be better if I could watch my mouth. I'm gonna try and cut that out so we don't get hit with the algorithm. But I'm okay. How are you, Robbie?
Doing great. Doing good.
I'm
Never
glad you
better.
I'm glad you picked this one. This is a good Bobby's pick. Very excited.
Well, Bobby does it right.
That's right. Bobby Light gonna do you right. That's all.
No.
Dirty
Bobby
girl.
Light, Robin Big.
Dirty girl.
No.
That's
Oh,
that's stupid. What's his name? The skater and Robin Big.
Rob Dyrdek. Yeah,
Yes.
Robin Big. Like I just said.
You
45
said it
seconds.
like
2
four,
seconds.
four times.
Another year older, still not getting credit.
No.
Never.
Well, like Robbie said, this is Let the Boys Watch. We watch movies typically that one or all of us haven't seen. I believe Bobby's pick this week for his big boy birthday week was Social Network. I think we've all seen it before, correct?
Yep.
Benny, you've seen it? Okay. So sometimes we do stuff like this where we've all seen it because we just really want to talk about this movie. But normally we'll put up a poll every Friday on our Instagram. Be sure to follow us there. That's in the show notes. Send us an email, also in the show notes. And I don't know, follow us on whatever you're listening to this on, whether it's YouTube, podcasts, FM, AM radio, I don't know, whatever. Just make sure you subscribe, send us some comments, whatever. Rate us, review us, all that fun stuff.
I believe we have another birthday pick coming up next week, don't we?
That would be correct. So I'm gonna make a pick and I'm sweating. I am sweating.
Really?
What movie that I want to pick? I'm pretty sure I have the front runner. Maybe by the end of this episode, I'll drop it on you
Reveal.
guys. Yeah.
So I don't want to get too much into spoiler territory, but you did say you had from the very beginning of this podcast a movie that was a 10. I'm not going to ask. I'm just going to throw that out there and say that, you did mention that.
That's in the running. There's like three that are really in the running, and then I'm like, should I put up a poll? I don't know, but we'll see.
Yes,
We'll talk
I
about
forgot
that
you have
later.
that option.
Yeah, this is Bobby's week. I don't want to take over Bobby's picks here, talking about my stuff. So
Let me do it anyway.
yeah, no, I constantly interrupt and make everything about me. I'm sorry, I can't help it.
Maybe easy on the narcissism, please, for 1 week.
All right, for 1 week, I will stop. So I don't know. Should we just since we've all seen it, does anyone want to share anything like what?
We have an email.
Oh, that's right. I'm an idiot.
It's all right. Listen, no one's perfect. That's why we're a 2-star podcast. We're not a 5-star podcast. But while you're pulling up that email, I will make a plea to our fans, or our listeners, I should say. We did get hit with a 2-star review on Apple Podcasts. If you love us, and I know a lot of you listening do, we would really appreciate if you go to Apple Podcasts and give us a 5-star review. If you like the podcast or if you hate the podcast, just do it because you love us. We need to get that rating back up there. Robbie hasn't slept in weeks at this point. I mean, his vision has gone bad. If you're looking at the YouTube, you know what I'm talking about. So please take a few minutes out of your day. Give us a 5-star review. If it would be great if you write a written review in the Apple Podcast, but hey, just click the 5 stars.
Please. It helps. You may not think it helps, but it does.
How? Well, we don't know, but it helps.
Heck if I know.
I'm not going to say anything about QT Missa. I'm not
We
going to say
left
anything.
that.
I'm being good this week, but she
We
sucks. And if
yeah,
you,
we left that in age 40.
That's right.
all right, you're right. This is a new year. 41. More love in 41.
That's what
That's
what they say.
Only
this is my
fun in 41.
this is my G this is my George HW year. So
Mission
Nice.
accomplished.
that's it.
Like Robbie corrected me on, we do have an email from a very good friend, a very good cousin Phil.
A good brother.
Yeah, and very good brother. He says, "Hello, my handsome fan. I'm sorry. I have a newborn, so I'm not sleeping, so I'm all over the place." He titles this email, "I can't believe I spent this much time writing to a 2-star podcast." Take a walk, Phil, on that one. I almost said other things. Quick question to ponder. Don't you think it's ironic that Tom and his beautiful sweater vests, which are sleeveless, can't help but wear his heart on his sleeve? So if you don't know what we're talking about, last week we did 500 Days of Summer. So that's what Phil is referencing. Sorry for the corny intro paragraph. I'm a first-time emailer here, and I'm kind of nervous. Trying to match the 5-star wit that you fine fellows have is a tall task. Plus, knowing that Robbie is reading this as he sits there commando is making it hot in here. Robbie, can you confirm or deny that you are commando?
I'm always commanded, but like, what's the infatuation with that entire family about me not wearing drawers? Like, worry about your family. Don't worry about my underwear. Like, it's so weird to me. And
I never
that's
talk
coming
about
from
your underwear ever.
no, not you. I'm not you. Like that entire Last Name Redacted family just like is like worried about my balls and how they're feeling in my chinos. They're fine. They're fine. There's no skids in these pants. So
You ever
back
hear
off.
you ever hear that trend about how many times a day do you think about the Roman Empire? I think about you
Yeah.
going commando 0 times a day.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
But your brother your brother has a hard on for me going commando. So back
Hey,
off,
who wouldn't? Who wouldn't?
please. Please. Now, listen, I was trying to be calm in 41, but now I'm all over the place now. I'm flustered. I'm ready to throw somebody through a wall. Please continue. I'm sorry.
All right. Hating everyone in 41. So stupid. Phil goes on to say, anyway, I felt it was fitting that my first email to the pod would be in response to your 500 Days of Summer episode, which I felt was most definitely insightful. However, that is not surprising coming from you three. Personally, my connection to this movie is similar to many when I first viewed it. I felt as if it was a mirror to where I was at that particular moment. I won't dive into the analysis of Tom and Summer's relationship since I think all of you really did a stand-up job with it. Moreover, I wanted to detail as to why this movie, for me, will always be a highly regarded timeless classic and why perhaps some of your ratings should be slightly higher after listening to how passionate you were in the reflection of the film and its characters. The beautiful thing about this picture is that we have all been these characters to some degree. When I say that, I don't just mean Tom or Summer, but also the supporting cast such as friends, coworkers, or the other person that comes into the picture after someone else makes their exit, unknowingly becoming the victim in an internal narrative of the dearly departed.
I do love that. Sorry, I do love that point though, because
yeah,
you're so focused on Tom and Summer in the movie that if you do look back on it, you are that person. You are those other people to someone going through that relationship. And a lot of the times, I know when I was the Tom in the situation, looking back on it, I'm so embarrassed for those other people that I like got involved because it was like dude, you're 21. Just live your life. So it's funny thinking about it from that lens.
Yeah. How many times did you like you're heartbroken and you go out with your friends and you spend the whole night talking about your ex and they're just like,
This ain't it. Yeah, too many
yeah.
times.
I mean,
Too many.
we've all been on both sides.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a good point.
It's it's the worst. Yeah, I look back and I'm like, I'm so embarrassed for the things that I said, the things I told people, the way I acted, how I felt. Like, I'm sure Benny wanted to block my number uh a couple of times, but it was just you look back and you're like, oh man, so embarrassed. It's so embarrassing, but hey, you live and you learn.
Yeah, and you know what? There's a lot of therapy that comes from that. So as much as you feel embarrassed, I'm sure if you talk to the people that you do open up to, that they understand, and it's never a burden for them. But you just look back on the emotions and how you evolved from that situation, how you've grown from it, and yeah, it feels embarrassing. But if you're a true friend, you're there for that person.
Yeah.
That's
And
true.
and then next time around things switch and you're
Yeah.
the one listening to the other person. So that's what friends do.
Hey, that's what friends are for.
That's right. That's what friends are for. All right, where are we? Uh, this film conjures up different feelings of your past, some good, some bad, and some that you may not want to feel again, but are necessary to measure how far you have grown personally and emotionally. 500 Days of Summer can be painful to watch, but that is exactly why it's so excellently done. As much as Tom and Summer have their faults, flaws, and failures transitioning through their relationship, it was an indispensable journey from a point in their life that will never be exactly the same again. A point where they both learned uniquely different things, pain, and the subsequent healing and happiness in form that was once never desired. It's hard to exactly put into words, but we've all been in situations where we don't want to give up on someone, where no matter the advice or how clearly the passengers in our lives can see the bigger picture, we destine ourselves to make the same mistakes until one day we wake up and the fuzziness dissipates and clarity prevails.
And you have 3 kids.
Yeah. You wake up and you want to jump off a bridge.
For another reason.
Yeah. Um, we've also been in moments where we don't know who we are, even though we think we do. With that, our honesty to those we encounter is fallible. They don't get the best version of who we are, even though in that particular moment in time, it's the best of who we are in that spectrum of time. Being older now, we look at these characters as individuals who know what we know now, but they don't. Their story was frustrating, and that's the point. Think of how many frustrating stories encompass our personal past. Now think of how you learned from each of those stories, even if you didn't want to. To me, that's what makes such a real film. From anticipating moments of excitement that don't quite pan out to walking on cloud nine without a care in the world, the raw emotional vulnerability that's portrayed in 500 Days of Summer is not only relatable, but a reminder. It's a reminder that although we may get wiser, with wisdom we lose some of that spark and naivety that had a certain innocence attached to it. That's all I got. And then he tries to mess with our algorithm here, and he says, funk, 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 poopy, funk, sticks, uh, mean, girl, um, chest, girl, uh, child without a parent, and chest. As always, excellent job, and thank you for doing this and letting us be a part of it. For that, you guys get all the stars in the world, my sweet honey babies. Much love, P. P.S. I love the look at the camera at the end of the film because I think the director's intention was to have the audience be a part of the story. I like it.
Oh, thank you. I love the email. I do actually like that point he brings up towards the end where he talks about how as you get older and more wise, you do kind of lose, that spark and that naivete because you feel like you've seen it all and you're like, oh, I know how to react to this situation, and you're not going into something and just like experiencing it. So I love
Yeah.
that point.
Nothing's a surprise.
Yeah.
No. Much apprecited, Phil. If you want to hear us talk all about 500 Days of Summer, check out our last episode and send in your thoughts. Or send in your thoughts on this episode, whatever. ltbwpodcast@gmail.com. So, should we get into Bobby's pick?
Please.
All right.
Wait, I got a surprise.
Oh, you do?
I do have a surprise.
I love it.
I Monday night, I watched Oppenheimer.
Ooh. What'd you think?
Loved it. I loved it. I changed my pick. I think Cillian Murphy should definitely win Best Actor. I do love a little Paul Giamatti, but I thought he was amazing in this movie. What he worked with and all the complexity of his character. I just think it's far and away better than Paul Giamatti's performance. Not that I don't love it, but I just think he was this movie. I thought the direction was phenomenal. Unbelievable some of the stuff they were doing. I I love the story. Um, Obviously, you know stuff about the Red Scare and all those things about communism and how the government tried to, they held hearings and tried to kind of blacklist people they thought were, affiliated with the Communist Party. I didn't know that much about Oppenheimer. Like you knew it about some Hollywood actors and people like that, but I didn't know it went into that much depth with Oppenheimer and tried to screw him over. But I loved it, man. I thought Matt Damon was fantastic. I thought Downey Jr. was overrated, shouldn't win the supporting actor. Um, who else was good?
I
They
was
were
gonna
all
a-
good, man. So many. Go ahead. Sorry.
I was gonna ask you, did your opinion change a little bit on our DJ? But it sounds like no.
No, it did. But do I think he should win the best supporting actor?
Supporting.
Probably not. Yeah, probably not. I think he should have won it maybe for Tropic Thunder. I thought he was fantastic in that movie.
Yeah.
But
What
uh,
what was your Pew rating?
I'm gonna go 9.5.
Oh wow. All right. She was very good
Oh,
in the movie.
sorry. You
Yeah.
15. She's for something about her. I just love something. I just think that she's Fox. Giblet scale 6.5 out of 10 on the Jibs,
All right.
but Tushy scale I'm gonna go 8.6 on a Tush.
Wow. And that's an
Yeah,
OJS.
you talking about it?
But
Um,
plum scale 9.5.
yeah, I thought it was very good. I mean, it really for 3 hours. I don't want to say breezed by because I don't think a movie never breezes by for 3 hours, but it didn't feel like a slog. It was a very good movie and I thoroughly enjoyed it. Um, Truman was kind of I didn't think the little that Truman was in. I mean, why has he got to be a dick for it, Truman? I thought
Yeah.
Truman was a pretty nice guy, but that was
It's
good, man.
crazy. Yeah, it's crazy how what you're saying. Like for a movie that is like 99% dialogue, it's always moving. It's always going quick. Like the dialogue's quick. It's a lot. It's like very dense. I felt the same way. Like it didn't feel the 3 hours. Like Killers of the Flower Moon, I felt every minute of that movie, but Oppenheimer, I was like just enthralled the whole time.
I think it's a testament again to Cillian Murphy's performance,
Hmm.
the direction by um, Christopher Nolan. 100% all in on him for Best Director. I
Yeah.
haven't seen a lot of the other movies, so I would say what I've seen, I wouldn't be pissed off if Oppenheimer won Best Picture. I think it 100% deserves it. I thought I like everything, man. The set pieces, the direction, the writing, the acting from everybody was really quality, top notch. Like I said, Matt Damon, Robert Downey Jr., Murphy, Q, Blunt, even the bit part Safdie was cool. I liked him. Rami Malek, that was good. I just everybody that was in it and surprising characters I didn't know were in it. Everybody was very good, and I just love the historical factor of it too. So maybe that's why I didn't I wasn't bored of it. I thought it wasn't a good story. I just love that whole aspect of it, seeing like people that are like Einstein
Yeah.
and people like that, which was awesome. And it was a backdrop World War II. I love World War II type stuff. So it was great.
Who was the other actor that was the other teacher when Oppenheimer got the job at the school? You know who I'm talking about? He's in so many movies, and I always love him.
The the heavy not the heavy guy, the
No, he was like the other teacher. Um,
uh
and he always came
he's
in and
like
like kind of told Oppenheimer like slow down or something like that, or he was kind of like doubting him.
I know you're talking about. He was like he had a lot of like parts early on.
What? Oh, I don't know. Um, do you think it's your favorite Nolan now?
I think so, really. It's not like recency bias. I just saw it. I really do. But like Dark Knight, I love the Dark Knight. But as far as like Nolan movies, I do think that is my favorite Nolan movie. I really do.
Yeah,
With
I agree.
Interstellar dead last.
Interstellar Dead
Um,
Last?
no, I'm just kidding.
Yeah,
But that dude you're talking about, his name's on the tip of my tongue. But he had like a lot of parts early on in his career, whereas now he didn't get a lot of work. But I think he was like I forgot his name now. I'm gonna be pissed off because I can't find it.
you know who it was? It was Josh Hartnett.
That's it. That's his name. Yeah.
He was really good. And when he think you're right. I think I know what you're talking about now. He did put on a little bit of weight, and you're like, I didn't even realize it was him until after the movie. Like when I saw the credits or whatever. He was awesome. Like everybody was just insane, top to bottom.
Yeah, everybody was very good. Even was that the kid from the Santa Claus? The elf? Oppenheimer's like pretty good friend. He was like the
It
heavyset
might,
guy who was on a train.
yeah, yeah, it might have been.
I think so. Like he was like the guy who was on a train with him, telling him to eat the freaking clementine or whatnot. I thought it was good. I love the black and white scenes. Um,
Hmm.
I love the, congressional hearing type stuff. But when you give me historical figures that are true, I'm a sucker for that, and I'm already all in. So, it's definitely a movie I would watch again. Really, like even though it's 3 hours long, I definitely would watch it again. I really enjoyed it, and forget about it. I mean, it wasn't. I'm sure what you saw in IMAX was out of this
Oh,
world,
it was
but
incredible. It was so sick.
even watching it on this screen was awesome. But just I'm sure that test atomic bomb scene was probably unreal in there.
It was nuts. And all the little like interlude scenes where it kind of was like that haze, you know what I'm talking about? That
Yeah.
was just like overwhelming. I don't know if I mentioned it on the podcast, but I like almost had a an anxiety attack like the first 15 minutes of the movie because it was just like like the screen is so big and it's surrounding you and everybody's like huge and talking fast and I was like I'm freaking out right now, but
Yeah.
I ended up loving it.
No, definitely. 100% recommendation on that. And I wouldn't be at all surprised or pissed off if they won all the awards and swept all those major categories because it's well deserved.
Yeah, I agree. Ryan, you gonna watch it?
I think you're on
You're
mute.
you're muted.
I was trying to like be respectful, but also not pay attention to what you guys are saying because
Oh
I want
yeah,
to
nine.
watch it. Um, should we like dedicate an episode to it? Maybe
Yeah, I would
like
do
the
it.
following or something, whatever.
Maybe we'll do it right before the Oscars.
Okay.
We
Yeah,
can make that
whatever.
kind of part of our Oscar episode. But I agree, Robbie. I think it's gonna win pretty much every award that it's up for. The only one I could see, we've watched a bunch of the Best Picture nominees at this point. I think I'm only missing like three, maybe. The only one I see it giving a run for its money direction wise would probably be Poor Things, just because it is very stylized and I feel like that kind of goes a long way. But I still think it's Nolan at the end of the day.
Yeah, I haven't said it like that, but I don't see how he doesn't. unless there's some shocking upset. But like the bits and pieces like I've seen of Poor Things, you could definitely tell like you said, the stylistic
Yeah, it's
nature of the
artsy.
film. Yeah.
I'm glad you liked it.
And Oppenheimer dies at the end. He gets hit by a train.
The butler did it. Yeah, no, that we should definitely do an episode. It'll probably take me a couple weeks to watch it since it's 3 hours and change, because watch like half an hour a night. Um, but yeah, what do you think? Should we get into Bobby's pick? Or did you guys want to mention anything else about the OPP?
No, I think we're good. We did a good little couple minutes on that.
Yeah. I mean, normally when one or more of us haven't seen it, we kind of do like what'd you think going in? But we've all seen it, so let's just get right into like overall impressions and plum scores. Well, Bobby, this is your episode. Please, you choose. Do you want to go first, or do you want to pick one of us to go first?
Uh, Bobby wants to go last. Whoever wants, and then you guys can fight for the number one and two.
Ryan, go ahead, please.
All
We
right.
just spoke for 45 minutes.
Well, I was pumped when Robbie said he wanted to do this one. I mean, knowing Robbie pretty well, I kind of thought this might have been the pick. But I'm glad it was, because I really enjoy this film. I actually purchased it a while ago, so I just had it on deck. I was ready to go.
Smart.
Yeah. There's so much to like about this film. But my favorite thing about this movie is the music and the direction. It's something about it. I don't know what it is, but it puts me in a different mood, and especially the first like couple of minutes, not the first couple of minutes when they're talking, um Mark Zuckerberg is talking to his at the time girlfriend. But when he's running around campus and that music is playing, I love it. It's so good. And overall, it's a really enjoyable movie. The way they, you know, interject like they're not court cases, but like the meetings that
Depositions.
depositions, thank you, um, that they're having. And yeah, I really like this movie. I'm glad we did it. Is it accurate? The people that were involved in real life say it's not, but I kind of, I don't know. I think it is. Like it feels accurate to me. Um, but of course, the Zuckerberg or whoever is going to be like, no, that's not how it happened. I'm not a piece of crap. Like, okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really like this movie. I'm really glad that Robbie picked it. Ben, what'd you think?
So I haven't seen this movie in a long time. Probably, I think I might have been in California when I saw it for the first time. So probably like 2014, 2015. And that was the first and only time I saw it. I remember enjoying it a lot. I enjoyed what's his name's Jesse Eisenberg's performance. So I was excited to watch this one again, and I know Robbie always speaks so highly of it, so I was excited to give it another go, and I still do. I like it a lot. I don't know if I've been brainwashed by a lot of the Aaron Sorkin hot takes, but he kind like when you start to watch a couple of his things, you notice the patterns with him. And to me, it just felt so dramatic all the time over like the littlest things. I wish there was a little more, I don't know, levity to it. And there was, but if everything is super dramatic, then the really dramatic moments don't feel as dramatic because you're just in that mode the whole entire time. But again, who am I to criticize someone like him who has way more success than I'll ever have until this podcast blows up?
So far, yeah.
Yeah, but no, I do enjoy it a lot. I had a hard time scoring it. At the end of the day, man, I mean, I think that the performances by um, Andrew Garfield and Jesse Eisenberg are just fantastic, amazing. You can't say enough about them. I don't remember liking or remembering Rooney Mara as much the first time, but I really enjoyed her in the few parts throughout the movie that she was in. So yeah, overall, I enjoyed it a lot and glad we watched it again. Like you guys said, I mean, and Robbie, I'm sure is going to go on a rant about Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross in this movie. Is just amazing. I mean, you talked about the opening music, Ryan, and I'll go with the music that's in the literal next part is when they're going back and forth between the party and him blogging and making face mash. Like that song, just incredible. Direction by Fincher, fantastic. I think the only thing that was wearing on me through the movie was like the Sorkin, the writing, and how everything was so heavy all the time when I felt like it didn't need to but overall, good movie.
Is that you mentioned, sorry, Robbie, before you go, is that you mentioned there's a like I guess a discourse around Aaron Sorkin that like all his writing is that way? Is that what the issue is? That everything is too dramatic all the time or
Everything is just always dramatic. I mean, I know he gets a lot of stuff for the way that he writes women, which actually thought he did really well with Rooney Mara's character in this one, so that really wasn't an issue for me. It just everything felt so heavy all the time. And just like everybody was just, these macabre figures that were just like you know what I mean? Like, I guess they're kind of trying to give it that snootiness of like people that are in this upper echelon of society, but it just felt like a bunch of like miserables walking around.
mm, yeah. I don't know if I agree with that. I feel like the the really dramatic parts, one in particular, I felt was appropriately dramatic and more dramatic than
I
like the rest of the film. But I guess I see what they're saying. But he's a dramatic writer. I don't know.
Yeah, and I'm not like saying it was bad because of that. It just I felt it the whole movie. I don't know what I'm trying to say, which is
Uh,
great for having a podcast, but um yeah, that's just the impression I got. That's how I just felt by the end of the movie.
that's
And I
what
know
makes our
exactly what moment you're
podcast good,
talking about.
Benny.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, because we don't
Uh,
know what we're talking about.
yeah, exactly. And I know exactly what moment you're talking about. And yes, that was, even it did rise above the rest.
Right. Sorry, Robbie.
I never, I don't know, I never, maybe because I never heard that stuff on the internet about
Yeah.
Sorkin being so dramatic. Um, but yeah, I mean, I don't think this movie should have worked the way it did. I mean, you're telling a story about a guy who basically just invented Facebook. I mean, what kind of drama are you gonna get out of that? Just some insecure loner loser type kid. But it worked. And it worked because of the writing. It worked because of the direction. It worked 1000% because of all the actors involved in this movie. It worked because of, cinematography and the the score. I mean, it's like dark and it's like an electronic and darkness to the score, which I love. Um, I have to go with the same thing with Ryan. Like that opening that sequence with after he gets broken up with and is walking back to his dorm room, like with that music playing is one of my favorite parts in the movie. I just love it. The title coming up and then, the actors and stuff like that. I love the font that they use in there. Um, and that was like 1, 2. Like that score, and then the next score when they were traveling on the bus that I wanted to pick. I didn't know which one to pick for my little movie draft that you asked for, Benny. But I mean, it's great. When I first saw it, I loved it. Every time I see it, I love it even more. I don't know. Like I said, I don't know why I love it so much, and like 100% shouldn't work because there's no serious action or anything like any gotcha moments. It's just a story about a guy who invented Facebook, potentially fucked people over by doing it, probably 100% stealing ideas left and right. But it's it's great. Some of my favorite scenes in this movie are all those deposition scenes where the lawyers are talking and the Winklevosses and Eduardo and Mark and they're all doing it. I just thought it was amazing. Um, the tough choice for movies that I wanted to pick, but I don't know. There's something about this movie. Maybe I'm a sucker for Sorkin. I do love Fincher, and I just thought that everybody in this movie was absolutely outstanding and one of the best scores of the 21st century, and should have won Best Picture over The King's Speech. Take a hike.
Yeah. No, I totally agree with Robbie. I love the dark tone of this film, and you're right, like it shouldn't have worked. Like who cares? Who cares about someone inventing Facebook? Facebook stinks. But
Yeah, and
it works.
sorry,
No, go ahead.
and to be intrigued and I want to say captivated for 2 hours over this story of how he did it, who he screwed over, people trying to take it from him, and then where he got to today. It's just, is it a microcosm? I'm maybe just using big words just to use them, but it's also at a time when it was kind of pre social media and the world was a lot different. And to see this little bozo, kind of just shape how the world is nowadays, all social media heavy, and all that comes with it from, that point up until now is also crazy. So it's also like a little something to think about too while watching the movie.
I mean, it makes you think all these years later, like what Facebook has become and how evil it feels and, the influence it's had on politics and, the way people talk to each other in this country and all that, the way social media has evolved, that it's interesting to kind of think back to that time when Facebook first dropped. I remember hearing about Facebook and I was going to Suffolk Community College and like I'm never going to be get to be on Facebook. And then it finally like rolled out to every other school and you still needed a college email address to join it. And I remember being so pumped. I honestly I remember where I was when I joined Facebook for the first time. I was in my a room in my house that was my grandmother's. After she passed, we turned into like a sitting room, and I was in there on my MacBook, and I joined it, and I still remember it to this day. Like it's just so weird the things that you remember, but it was like the cool thing because it was exclusive, and it's funny, now looking back on that and watching how that whole thing played out. Maybe not 100% to the T, but it was this big moment in all of our lives.
Yeah, now, like, back then you're like, oh man, it's the cool thing. And now you have just somebody's aunt, on Facebook saying my husband's arm got stuck to the refrigerator after he took a COVID shot. So things like that you see now and what it's turned into. So it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Uh, are you guys still on Facebook?
I was off it for a few years and then I created an account um because I needed to create like a fan page for something else. And I have it, but I log into it maybe once every 2 months. I think I have like one profile picture, and that's it. I try not to give it any of my information or my location or any of that kind of stuff. I honestly I hate Facebook so much, which is funny compared to the story that I just told about it. But but then again, I'm the idiot that's on Instagram all the time. So it's damned if you do, damned if you don't.
I've been off for like 7 years now.
Yeah.
Haven't been on there for a long time. And I don't even think twice about it. So again, but then I watch 6 to 7 hours of Instagram reels on my phone. So who am I, hypocrite man?
Yeah.
Um, all right. Plum scores. Robbie, again, your choice.
Quick, 10 for me. It doesn't
You know
matter.
it.
I love the movie. I would give it a 6,000 if I could. Um, there's a few movies that are tens for me, and this is it. This is one of the most top three rewatchable movies for me. I'll watch this movie any time of day, anywhere. If I ever saw it on television, boom, I'm watching it. Um, I must have watched it now 3 times in the past 3 months. Why not? But yeah, it's an everlasting classic movie for me. It never gets old. The characters never get stale. The writing never gets stale. The direction never gets stale. The score will never get stale for me. It's just a perfect movie, in my opinion. And yeah, are there some characters that annoy me? Are there some scenes that annoy me? Do the Winklevoss twins dialogue sometimes make you want to punch them in their face? Of course, but I love the movie. And I'm not pulling a Pulp Fiction again where I get mad because Tarantino's making coffee and the way he's talking, I really want to beat him up. But no, I'm not doing it. 10. That's it.
Ryan.
Um, I like I said, I purchased this movie several years ago and have watched it numerous times. I also really, really like it. That again, I mentioned it once already, but that opening scene score runs through my head fairly often. Just that, especially that tone, just a like just I don't know. I really like this film. I'm gonna give this not as high as Robbie, but I'm gonna give this a famous 9.4. Made famous
Wow,
by
it's
9.
back. It's back. It was gone.
Nice.
It came
It's
back.
it's back. It's back, baby.
Um, I have a hard time scoring this one. Um, and honestly, my score changed while we were talking because you guys brought up a lot of good points. I'm glad I didn't give the score before we gave all of our opinions. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go 8.8 on it. I think it's a really strong movie. I wouldn't be putting it on my top 10 list anytime soon. I enjoyed watching it again. Like I said, there's just a couple things that stand out to me in the movie that, it didn't feel it felt 2 hours, but not in a bad way. Um, and yeah, a couple characters that I just not a big fan of. Maybe wish that they had picked somebody else for the role, but the I kept coming back to that Sorkin stuff, and I don't know why it frustrated me so much, but it did. So I'll go 8.8.
Yeah. Before we get into any of the stuff, did either of you guys ever see The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo? Also by Fincher?
No.
All right.
No.
You guys should check that out because I know it's a completely different movie, obviously. But to me, it has a lot of the same feel, and it was back to back that Fincher did it. And Robbie, your boys Resner and Ross also scored this one. It just there's similarities to me there, like the darkness in tone, the music. So I would definitely check it out. Again, it's a
My guys.
completely different type of movie, but it's very enjoyable. And I think Robbie, especially, you'll like it because of the direction and the score.
Did you see
Think
Soul? Anybody seen Soul?
Yeah, the Pixar movie.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Trent
I like
Reznor and
that movie
Atticus
a lot.
Ross scored that too.
Yeah, no,
It's a
they're
good one.
I mean they're dynamite. That the pair of them.
I think 2-time Academy Award winners for this and Soul.
I think you're right. Good for them.
And Sorkin won, I think, the Academy Award for adapted for
For
this.
this. You know,
Yeah. So suck on that, Benny. Suck on it.
suck it.
bring it. Bring the
That
Um,
Sorkin
8.8
horse.
really the inside of my body just might have melted when I heard an 8.8 from you. It hurts my
8.8's
heart.
a good score.
that's a
It's a
good
really
score.
good score.
Oh, you're right. I can't wait for your birthday when you bring out the Sandlot and I give it a 2.6.
I'm not bringing out the Sandlot.
That'd be a good one to pick. Maybe I'll pick it.
It's baseball season. Major League.
I'm gonna pick the baseball documentary by Ken Burns, and we have to watch all 10 episodes that are like 3 hours each.
I quit. All right, Robbie, what do you want to do? Scenes or characters first?
Let's get rid of the characters because there's so many good scenes. Let's go favorite characters, least favorite character. Let's go least favorite character first.
All right. Who wants to start?
Well, it's my birthday, so I'm going to start
Do it.
because I don't want anybody else to pick him. Because my least favorite, my least favorite character is Mr. Sean Parker, Justin Timberlake.
I
I
know it.
can't stand for the life of me, Justin Timberlake. He's up there with Taylor Swift. I can't stand him at all. I think he sucked in this movie. I'm devastated that I couldn't find a better actor than him. There were some scenes where I was like, this is bad acting, really across the board. And he kind of almost ruined the scene for me. There's just something about him. There could have been so many other actors, I think, that really could have played that part and really driven home the pretentiousness, the dickishness, the better than me type attitude that it seems like Sean Parker had, especially in this movie. Um, yeah, I don't know. There was just something about Timberlake. I don't like him in anything that he's in. Um, some songs I enjoy. And like I said last week, I think I was always a JC Chazé guy anyway. He had it all. Timberlake didn't have anything. He pissed me off. Um, yeah, it doesn't take much for me to throw some Timberlake hate. Shout out Janet Jackson. She get wrongfully accused, and Timberlake, got off scot-free. But yeah, Timberlake sucked in this movie. I wish anybody else would have been in this movie. And yeah, I would recast him in a second.
So I felt the same way. And the name she threw out to replace him was Kieran Culkin.
I would have loved it.
Would have loved
But I
it.
was, and she mentioned somebody else, but I also mentioned that this movie was 15 years ago, and these people were probably like 13. So
Yeah.
um, yeah, no, I mean, I think that was going to be everybody's pick, Robbie.
Yeah, I had to get out in front with that one because I didn't really have a lot of other least favorite characters.
Ryan, you
I
want to go?
thought I agree with you. There was a lot of parts where I was just like, ugh. But I did like him when he would do the super paranoid parts. That I liked
Yeah,
him doing, but pretty much everything else I was like, ugh, ugh. The whole
I
thing
know.
with
It's like
when Eduardo was talking to him, I just was like, ugh, shut up, JT.
I know. Go somewhere, bro. It
Else
weighed on me. I almost gave it a 9.9
just because of him.
I wish you would have.
just because
Um, Benny, you want to go or
You can go.
damn it? Because he was my pick. So I'm gonna go ahead and pick the guy who didn't realize Bill Gates was the one who was speaking. Because what an idiot.
Stupid.
Yeah.
You just know by his voice that that's Bill Gates.
Right.
Oof. I mean, it really is hard to pick somebody because everybody was really good in the movie. So I'm gonna go a little out of left field and just pick Army Hammer as Cameron Winklevoss. Not necessarily because of the character, but who he is in real life, and he can go mess with himself.
I like it. I
Nice.
have one least favorite character, and that's Kevin Spacey's name popping up as executive
Oh
producer.
yeah, I saw that. That's a good Ani Mensch. Wait, so I'm just realizing this now. Are they not twins?
No.
How
No,
the
his face
heck?
was his face. They had a stunt double, and they had his face CGI.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. So this. Oh, all right. All right. That makes
Yeah.
sense.
And they did a lot of
So
like split screen work and stuff like that.
gotcha. So mess him two times then, because technically he played two different characters.
Yeah. The guy who played the other Winklevi was, the
I
guy
love
when
that.
they were in the bathroom, the two girls just like hooked up with Eduardo and Mark. The guy who tries to go in
Oh,
is
he's like
actually the
nice.
other one,
Yeah.
like the body double or whatever you want to call it.
Josh Pence. When I saw that name
Yes.
pop up on the screen, I was like, oh, I had enough Pences for one lifetime. Fave?
I got I had
Go
like
ahead. No, go ahead.
Douglas Urbanski as Larry Summers. Shout out Larry Summers. I think he was Obama's like Treasury Secretary, and I can be making that up. I just didn't like the character, the kind of douchiness that he played with,
Exuded. Yeah.
exuded. Yeah, and Christie for being a psychopath, almost
Yeah.
burning Eduardo's apartment down.
Brenda Song? Shout out. Macaulay Culkin's
Shout out
wife.
Macaulay Culkin,
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's Culkin heavy
smoking
podcast, but
hot. Get him on.
definitely good.
I know you listen.
uh,
Come on.
Faves, Robbie, do you want to go first on faves again? I'm offering you my pick.
Really?
Yeah, why
Yeah.
not? It's your birthday, babe.
That's
It's your
oh my
episode.
God. Say less because my favorite character is Andrew Garfield as Eduardo Saverin. Um, Garfield's fantastic in this movie. Garfield should have won an Academy Award for this movie. I thought he was phenomenal in this movie. Um, do I think sometimes I go back and forth and think that was this movie skewed to make Eduardo like the hero of this movie? He did get kind of screwed over. I don't know the full details. So I'm not gonna say I know what's going on, but it definitely leans a little heavy as Eduardo is a good guy. But I mean, Andrew Garfield played this phenomenal. I think it was a fantastic performance. I think it was A plus. Some vulnerability. Um, he was, he brought the acting chops. He brought the drama. He brought everything. Every time I watch this performance of him, I love it more and more. There was just so much, I don't want to say complexity to his character, but he brought, you know, various stages of emotions where you felt bad for him, where you rooted for him, where you were happy for him in some scenes. So yeah, he was a true friend to Mark. Sometimes I think Mark kind of used him for the funds in the moment or his fantastic chess algorithm. But yeah, I just think that he was always there for him in the movie. I don't know about personally, but in the movie, I felt like he was a true friend and was always there for Mark when Mark really didn't have anybody, you know. But yeah, Garfield all day, every day, all in. Should have won every award in the book. So Andrew Garfield as Eduardo Saverin is my favorite character from here until eternity.
um, you mentioned like, is he the good guy? Is he the hero? Did he get screwed over? And yeah, he got screwed over, obviously. But like, was it? I don't want to say it was it the right choice because it's definitely not the right choice to take him out of the co-founder position and dilute all of his shares. But I think the moment where you kind of have to like think about did Zuckerberg make the right choice is when he's talking about how he's going around New York City 12 hours a day on the subway trying to find advertisers. And Zuckerberg's like, yeah, what, Dan's tuxedo shop? Like, we're bigger than that. And he probably needed someone bigger in that role. But that doesn't mean you cut him out completely from the company. Like, that's the messed up part of it. And that's where, Sean Parker allegedly, again, we don't know, I don't know the actual details of it, screwed over Garfield and got into Mark's head. And yeah, like he had the right instinct that he Eduardo wasn't the right person for the position, but he just went about it the wrong way.
He let Timberlake influence him way too much.
Yeah. I'm gonna go chalk and pick Jesse Eisenberg as Zuckerberg. I mean, how could you not? He just obviously carries the movie, and he just plays that character so well. And I don't know if I doubt that's how he is in real life, but he always kind of play, or at least the movies I've seen, plays that kind of aloof, smarter than you guy, who's not putting up with any nonsense. But he did it so well, and if you hate Zuckerberg in real life, like a lot of people do, you probably enjoy this characterization of him because he's just insufferable 90% of the time. And I love that quote at the end of the movie from Rashida Jones's character, where she's like, "You're not an asshole, but you're trying so hard to be," and it's so true. But also, he's kind of an asshole, just in general, like even without trying to be um extra douchey. So he was just fantastic in this movie. I tend to enjoy everything I've seen him in. In the maybe 3 or 4 movies I've seen him in. Haven't seen him as actually I did see him as Lex Luthor, I think, but I like that he has a sense of humor about himself with that part. I think he reached out to who's ever playing Lex Luthor next and was like, just watch what I did and don't do any of that. So I enjoy him. I wish he would kind of pop up in more stuff.
He's good in Zombieland.
He was, yeah, I enjoyed that.
Yeah.
Um, well, so I'll go last, even though I should have went second because Benny gave Robbie his pick,
Oh,
which was
sorry.
last.
I took us as moving
It's fine.
down.
I'm just no, I'm
Sorry.
joking. I'm joking. Um, I'm gonna go ahead and pick because I have to because her family owns the New York Football Giants, Rooney Mara. Um, but I did actually really like her character in this film. I loved, the whole beginning scene with her. And that whole line of, you're gonna think it's because you're a nerd, but it's because you're an a-hole. And then seeing her later on, I liked, good luck with your video game. Um, but yeah, I mean, there's not a lot of like main characters in this other than the three guys, and we all know how we all feel about Justin Timberlake, and then Rooney Mara, I think is definitely up there as favorite characters, but everyone else there's not really a lot to choose from.
Yeah. Sorry, Ryan.
No, I'm just joking. It's fine. Okay. Um, any Ani mentions for favorite characters?
Yeah, I'll go with, I mean, yeah, he likes to eat people's skin, but I'll go with Army Hammer as the Winklevoss twins. I thought he played a good,
I like the
he played
character
a,
too.
yeah, I like the character because it's the character of like two guys who've never been told no in their entire life,
Yeah.
Right.
right? And you get that pretentiousness from the both of them. Like, even when they were talking about, when Mark first sees him, it looks like you guys, live in the gym. And then even Winklevi in the back's like, yeah, we roll
We
crew. I'm
wrote
like,
crew.
shut up. That annoys me every time I watch it when they say that. But that's just who they are. Just some rich kids that went to Harvard and expect, you know, everybody to say yes to them their entire lives. And, this little twerp is outsmarting them every step of the way. So I thought that he played that part to what it was supposed to be.
Fair.
I'll give an Ani mention to you just mentioned it before, but Rashida Jones. I liked her character in this and just she wasn't in it a lot. I mean, I do like her in other things like in Parks and Rec and stuff like that, but I like that whole kind of scene at the end where she was talking about jury selection and stuff like that. So give her an Ani mensch.
Who else I want to give an eye match to? Uh, the white-haired lawyer in the deposition, when
Yeah,
he asked Mark if he had his attention. I don't know, something about that guy's voice and the way he played that part. I really enjoyed his
agree.
character. And
Yeah, I like the way he spoke.
yeah, something about it. I really loved his voice. I don't know what it was about, but I think he really did a great job in the minimal, time he had on screen. Um, who else? Max Majanla, huh? Whoever, the Winklevoss's security guard, whoever he was, his friend. I think he went out with what's her name's sister, Kate Mara, I think, in real life.
Oh, really?
I could be wrong. But I forgot what else he was in, but I enjoyed his part, especially when in the part when they were singing I Swear, and he freaks out when he finds out
Yeah,
that
and he runs
Facebook has
out.
just dropped. Yeah, that was a good part.
That was good. I also liked when he said he wanted to hire the Sopranos to beat him to death with hammers.
Ridiculous.
Yeah. Um. All right. Any other character things we should mention, or should we move on?
I don't have anything else, I don't think. No.
Okay. All right. Scenes. Robbie, your choice as again.
Before we get into scenes, our favorite game is back. I forgot to play the game before. It's the Tishometer,
Oh.
Oh.
sponsored by Benny's favorite adventure park, Tush Gardens. Um,
We need that sponsorship.
we do. You got to talk to him. It is your word, so you better get out there. Um, Dakota Johnson, Tush meter.
Who's starting?
Anybody?
Well,
I'll go
Nine.
last.
you're the tush doctor. You're the official
I'll give it a
Tishometer.
9.
Really?
Hmm.
Wow. All right.
Nice tush.
That's a good score.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember it. I'll go.
How could you forget it, baby?
I've seen so many, you know. I'll go 8.7. I'm pretty sure it was really good. But
Yeah, it
that
was a
whole
nice Tush. I was
scene
gonna.
is so annoying.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
There's a
was annoying.
snake.
Yeah.
Get out of here.
Oh my God, I slept with Sean Parker like he was fucking Paul McCartney. Like, chill out. Guy meant the naps. Take a seat.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was annoying. Her acting stinks, but I'll go 8.4 on a tush. Decent tush. Would I stick my head in it? Without a doubt. But yeah, 8.4 on a tush. The shot thermometer for me,
Dakota Johnson, if you're listening, call us.
please.
Come
We'll
on.
get
Come
you in
on,
touch with Robbie.
show us your tush. So we can go least favorite scenes. I can go first. I have none, so that's all I'll say about that.
Wow. Ryan, please.
Um, yeah, I mean, maybe I'll go with that scene that you just brought
Damn
up
it.
because, like, sorry, that whole interaction with just like, can I look at your like computer? And he's just looking like, why
It's
can't
so
you
bad.
just go in the bathroom and just be like, hey, what is this? Or wait 5 minutes. Like, there's a snake out here. Like,
Yeah. I need to find you, Mark Zuckerberg.
oh,
It's
stupid.
so bad.
You know what other scene I
I had
kind
to
of
think of like,
also don't. I'll wait till Ani mentions. Go ahead, Benny. I don't want to steal it if it's yours. I already stole it once.
It's hard because like nothing really stands out except that scene. But I'll give a micro scene as my least favorite. It's the first time, it's the first lines that Rashida Jones speaks in the movie when they're talking about how many hits Face Mash got. And it was like, oh, it got 2,200 hits in the first hour. And he's like, 22,000. And just the line she has after, she's like, 22,000? Wow. And like it just felt so like weird. Not the best
that was corny.
delivery. Yeah. So I'm gonna pick that because that was just one of the things that stuck out to me.
I feel like nowadays you like 22,000 hits. Like, so
I mean, in the
what?
first hour of
It's
a
still
unknown,
good of a
yeah,
brand new site. Yeah, no, I know, but
yeah,
it's like it still feels like a low number to like
yeah.
crash. I'm sure back then it was
Oh,
like
for
a
sure.
token ring at Ethernet
Yeah,
network or something.
yeah, yeah. They're running their
The
server
T1s.
on on Angel Fire.
Yeah. Um, the only the for some reason the scene, just like Eduardo was bothered, the scene with them with all the Appletinis and stuff, that kind of like bothers me too a little bit. It was, I mean, I know it was meant to be like a little aggravating. So and I like parts of it, but for some reason, just him walking in there being like, "We'll have this and this and this. What
Yeah,
are you drinking? Appletinis. Let's go."
tap 4 of those.
Yeah. Um, I don't know, but not a strong Ani mensch, but just a smidge.
I love it.
Yeah. All right. Favorite scenes, Robbie.
I'm giving it up. I have a lot of favorite scenes. So I don't want to give it up. I'm giving it up.
Who's going first? Ryan, I feel like I need to make it up to you.
All right, I defer it to you, Benny.
All right. Well, I'm gonna pick your favorite scene then.
I know you are.
And it's the Andrew Garfield finding out that he gets cut out of Facebook and just his whole monologue after that. That's easily like the high point of the whole entire movie.
Agree.
The acting in it, fantastic. The but I really do enjoy just and he doesn't say anything, but the way he acts, Jesse Eisenberg in that scene, like you could feel like I definitely fucked up and this was a stupid thing to do, and you could see the whole thing play out in front of him. So yeah, just the two of them going at it. And then, on his way out the door, Eduardo getting a little one up on Sean, so it sucks, but at least he gets a little bit of redemption there. Yeah, by far the best scene in the movie.
Yeah. Them when they're going through how much was
Yeah,
Justin Moskovitz? It wasn't. How much was his? It wasn't. Like I just love that sequence. It's so good.
yeah.
Yeah,
Because
that's great. That was mine. But
yeah, he's right. He knows he's right, and he's just laying it out. And yeah, just perfect.
It's tough. Don't feel too bad because in real life he's like got like $25 billion or something.
Does he?
Eduardo Saverin. Yeah, he's wealthy.
Yeah. F him.
Yeah.
fudge him. Hey, Eduardo, if you're listening, fudge yourself.
Yeah. Robbie, you want to go?
No, you can go.
All right. Ben, you were correct. You did steal my scene. But that's obvious. I think that's many people's favorite scenes. Um, because that's off the table, I'll honestly, I mentioned it already in the show, but I love the beginning sequence. You are introduced to Mark and how his in this film, like how his brain works, where he's back and forth, where they're talking about the finals clubs and not finals, final, and about like her going to BU and like how he kind of will go like a step ahead and then come back and go ahead and come back.
I feel
Um,
like that's a Sorkin thing too, where
yeah,
he's
I
like
think you're right
responding to something that's like
from
that was
earlier.
asked, yeah, but then he's also like going ahead. I feel like
Yep.
that was a Sorkin thing.
Yeah. But yeah, that scene and then leading into him heading to his dorm room to to blog because that's what the angry do. And
On Live Journal, shout out.
on live journal. Did you have a live journal, Benny?
I had a dead journal.
Oh, the cool one.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll go with that again because the dialogue was great and then the music was fantastic and the scenes of the college were just so cool.
Did you have a live journal, Ryan?
I did not. I'm shocked because I was such an emo kid.
I know for damn sure Robbie didn't have a live journal.
I didn't even know a live journal until I watched this movie, so no, I didn't have one.
Did you have a Tumblr, Benny?
I didn't have a Tumblr.
I had a Tumblr.
I wish I still, oh my God, it would be the cringiest thing, but I wish I had access to that dead journal.
Oh yeah. Or
Ugh.
MySpace. That would have been
I
good.
wish I had access to my MySpace account. I really do.
Or a um a just a list of all the away messages I left up
Oh,
on
please.
AIM.
I want a list of all the different screen names I had. I changed my screen name once I switched from AOL to AIM, and you could just make screen names willy nilly. I had 45 different Blink 182 AIM screen names.
Aliens exist 147.
Probably wasn't far off.
Yeah, I know. Robbie.
Where we go?
Robbie's favorite scenes.
So many, so many. Eduardo confronts Mark was my number one. Um, but I knew that was going to be gone. This is tough. I'm going to go with the Victoria's Secret scene. I thought that was such a great scene playing over the loud music, the darkness to the scene, and just the story of what Sean tells Mark, which is a true story. If nobody knows that the guy threw himself off the Golden Gate Bridge, but just like a once in a generation type app or type idea, and just to go for it. I just thought it was a great pump up speech that Sean Parker gave to Mark Zuckerberg. I just loved it. Something about that scene really gets me going. I don't know what it is, but I don't know. I guess it was maybe just the entire the pump up and the setup of telling Mark to just, it's a $1 billion idea and he needs to just go for it and take over the world type shit and fudge stuff. Um, that was my first curse, I think, of the day. But yeah, I love that scene. I really do. Um, it definitely doesn't set the mood for the movie, but Sean Parker is definitely right in what he's saying to Mark that it's time for, you know, us to take over and not let these baby boomers continue to just hoard stuff and, gouge up the prices for housing and screw us over and then take away our 401ks and do all that stuff and screw us over some more. So shout out boomers.
But also, let's, as Mark Zuckerberg and Sean Parker, let's be those people that hoard all the wealth anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I take it back. This is my least favorite scene.
Yeah. Robbie, you want to kick us off with Ani Menches?
Sure. It's the boat scene. The race. I love that
Right.
scene. I love the score in it.
Yep.
I don't even know the name of that song. Uh, but I just love the way they sped it up and the ending scene, the ending of the race and how they kind of put their own little spin onto that song. I loved it. Fantastic scene. One of my favorite scenes. And then coincides with them finding out that Facebook is now international, Mr. Worldwide. Shout out Pitbull. So then they just decide to, hey, listen, we're gonna sue, even though I couldn't stand the let's gut the little punk, and then even Winklevi's, fist pump reaction. I wanted to boot him into the Thames.
Oh
So
yeah.
that was it. Yeah, that was corny, but yeah, it's a great scene. I love that scene.
I'll jump off that and just say any scene where they're finding out like how
Yeah,
big it's
that they're getting
becoming.
screwed.
Yeah, yeah. From the time that Divya realizes that the idea has been stolen to them expanding into Stanford and everything. Just their reactions were great.
I like the scene, even though it's could just complete debauchery, but like the mashup of the scenes between the party at the final club and doing the face smash. I like that, the way they did that a lot.
That was cool.
Yeah.
Um, what else? What was I gonna say? Oh, the ending. Love
Yeah.
the ending. With the Beatles song playing in the background. Him refreshing the screen like she's just gonna be on Facebook at that exact moment and accepting a friend request. Chill out.
But
Chill out.
on the other hand, I've definitely done that.
What, send a friend request
Oh,
and just wait for them to
Yeah,
accept?
yeah. Just hit refresh,
You know,
refresh, refresh.
F5, F5.
F5.
I probably still do that too. So another hypocrite move.
Facebook me.
Ugh. Any other Ani mentions?
Uh, yeah, when Sean Parker gets busted with the cocaine on his hand. Thank God. Timberlake, take a fudging hike. I'm done with you, bro. I hate your guts. Please.
It's not mine.
I, I wish Timberlake that like he went to jail for 10 years because of that.
I feel like he's back on his like I want to be relevant again tour after everything that Britney said about me.
Yeah, but he's also like taking pot shots and like being a jerk about the whole situation.
Yeah. Get out of here.
Didn't he cheat on Jessica Biel?
Who knows?
I'm
Probably.
sure. Allegedly.
Allegedly. He's a
I don't want
bozo.
to
Him
hear.
and him and whatchamacallit starting to really chat me up. It's getting into rock territory with him and Jimmy Fallon.
Jimmy Fallon's the worst. I'm sorry. He really is.
He stinks. Really, he stinks. I can't stand him.
But if you're
But if
listening,
he's
come on.
listening, come on, please.
Talk to us about what was it? What the hell movie was he in, the first one we watched?
Oh, Almost Famous.
Yeah. Come talk to us about Almost
Right.
Famous.
Oh, well, he was your least favorite character, right?
Yeah. I'm juiced out.
Breaking scenes, ruining every scene in Saturday Night Live's, always breaking character.
Come on a plane. Whoa, we're gonna go down. Whoa.
All right, should we move on?
Let's do it.
All right. Is there anything that you can think of to make this movie better? I think we all probably agree on one thing.
I mean, in my completely unqualified opinion, I just wish it wasn't like everybody wasn't in Othello or Romeo and Juliet and everything was the most serious thing in the world that ever happened. But uh yeah, that's
When you
just me
said
being
Othello, I thought you were talking about the game.
yeah.
A minute
Does
to
anybody know
learn,
how
a
to play
lifetime to master.
yeah. Does anybody know how to play that game? You do? All right, we're gonna have to do a live stream on YouTube of you teaching us how to play Othello.
All right.
What what is that?
It's a game with tiles, with black and white tiles, and it's
It's like
like you have to
backgammon and Jace.
you have to like capture the tiles. Like it's a strategy game. Anyway.
Tune in next week to
Cool.
spin-off podcast Othello.
Yeah. Nerd games. Um I mean, Robbie, I'm sure you would agree with this statement, is that recasting Timberlake.
Yeah, recasting Timberlake and then making this movie 2 hours longer.
Yeah.
That's it for me. Yeah, Timberlake
I
needs
mean,
to go. There's so many. Give me like Paul Dano. Give me somebody.
Oh, that's a good choice.
this is
Yeah.
a perfect uh movie for my What Happens Next podcast because a lot of stuff happened next.
That's true.
Oh yeah, and you're not gonna be making it up either. It's gonna be true.
No, exactly. The first scene of the movie is going to be Trump coming down the escalator. How did we get here?
Unbelievable.
All right. Well, I do have a way to make this movie better, and that's by working overtime and casting Matt Damon in a existing role or a made up role, because for some reason we cast Matt Damon in every film we watch. Robbie, again, your choice. Do you want to go first or whenever?
Sure. Give me a young, middle-aged, lean, mean, money-making machine, printing money, smart as a whip. I'm gonna recast Matt Damon as Will Hunting, the venture
Oh,
capitalist. So you know, in Good Will Hunting, Will goes out west to see about a girl. He visits Skylar. I think Skylar White got into Stanford, correct?
Yeah.
yep.
So, Will being just amazingly smart, man. You don't know what happens, in the future years. You just see him replacing that scumbag Peter Thiel. Get him out of there. We don't want him in the movie. So, Matt Damon replaces Peter Thiel as Will Hunting from Will Hunting's venture capitalist fund, and he invests in Facebook because he's smart, extremely smart, wicked smart, some might say. And
Wicked
he
smart.
owns owns about 7% of Facebook, and he's a multimillionaire now. He flies out, Ben and Casey Affleck. He flies out, what's his name? I forgot his name. The guy from Yellowstone now, Cowboy Man.
Kevin Costner.
Whatever. No, he was in he was in Dazed and Confused as well, redheaded dude.
Yeah.
I got his name. I forgot his name. Anyway, fly him out. fly out. Robin Williams, rest in peace. And it's just a one big venture capitalist fund. Bunch of Boston accent having, multi-billionaires investing in startup companies. So yeah, give me Matt Damon as reprising his role as Will Hunting, kicking out that piece of poop, Peter Thiel, and he is Will Hunting, manager of Will Hunting's hedge fund, venture capitalist firm.
Mm.
Cole Hauser is his name.
That's his name, Cole Hauser. I love Cole Hauser.
Benny, please.
Give me a early 30s, white t-shirt wearing, looking over his shoulder.
Damn it.
Matt Damon as Tom from MySpace, who we constantly check in on, and as all this Facebook stuff is booming, and he sees his market share or site traffic going down, he's okay with it. He's Tom. He's everybody's friend. He's slowly plotting to sell his little company and ride off into the sunset to be never heard from again, and just stays a good thought in everybody's mind. And who else better to play that role but a fantastically handsome Matt Damon as Tom from MySpace. Did I steal yours?
I love MySpace.
Yeah. I was eating dinner earlier and I was like, like it just popped in my head. Tom from MySpace.
Maybe
That's who I'm gonna cast Matt Damon as.
Maybe we mind melded.
Maybe. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and cast a young, early 20s, emotional Matt Damon as the creator of Dead Journal in response to the live journal that that Mark is writing. And then we'll see the next scene will be Benny writing his Dead Journal, complaining about something.
Why doesn't she love me? Just vaguely talking about girls.
You're right.
So,
Yeah.
so they don't know it's them, but if they know, they can tell that it's them.
Yeah. Alluding.
And yeah, and I'll win their hearts that way.
Yep. Yeah. I don't know. I wonder, do you think in the history of romantic conquest that anyone ever won over a girl or a boy doing that? Like just being emotional and like sort of alluding to them on some website somewhere.
Well, I can tell you I'm 0 for about 150. So
Yeah. I don't think it ever worked.
My aim away messages never seem to close the deal.
Oh, the best. I used to allude to people all the time in those things. Oh my God. Song lyrics out the butt all over the place.
Your lipstick is colored. Don't bother, Angel. I know exactly what goes on. Is that what you call tact? You're as subtle as a brick in the small of my back.
I'm more than sure that I left that as an away message at least once.
Oh, that was a go-to.
Ah, obviously. All right. Anything else about The Social Network?
Glad to watch it again.
Yeah, it was a fantastic pick, Robbie.
Thank you. Love that movie. Love it. Take it to my grave. Listen, real quick, if I die, bury me with the DVD.
I'll get you.
That's a deal. I'll even get the Blu-ray.
I was gonna say I'll get you
first
a script and just rest it on top of your chest. Yeah. Put your hands.
That might revive me.
Maybe.
That might bring me back to life. And then put the script for The Fifth Element in there so it can kill me forever.
Didn't you give it like a 7.7?
Yeah, but that's like an F- for me.
That's true. That's true.
They beat The Big Lebowski and Fargo, so 7.9 I gave it. I was young, dumb, and not that full of
gum.
Gum.
Gook.
Plum.
Splooge.
Um,
So Ryan,
yes,
are you ready to make a reveal or no?
I had before you said something earlier. There was another film that was in a strong position that I was gonna do, but you convinced me, Benny. We
Oh,
are gonna watch My Cousin Vinny.
oh, good one.
Nice. Nice.
Good one. I like it. I like it.
I'm
I don't
excited.
think I've seen that one all the way through from beginning to end.
What?
I've seen probably every scene of the movie, being on
Right,
TV.
but just
And
straight through.
yeah, I don't think I've ever sat down and watched it tip to toe, as the kids say.
I thought that that was a requirement for an Italian such as yourself.
Listen, take it easy. Take it easy. You're lucky I don't have my gold chain on right now.
Well, he hasn't
I
even watched
love
The
when you wear
Sopranos, so
that
I mean,
chain. It's
how
so
Italian
good.
is he?
Sorry, Robbie.
Listen,
What?
He hasn't even watched Sopranos. Please revoke his. Ryan, you're more Italian than him.
so
FBI
I
right here, pal.
I was in the Italian American camp of, nah, this is a disgrace that they're doing this. I don't like this.
This ain't
Making us
it.
all look. They're making us all look like we're gabagool eaters, and I don't like it. So, but I do want to watch it.
Yeah, but I mean, every time you send us a picture, it's of you eating
I
gabagool
know.
and a mortadella sandwich.
I
So
know. I took it personally. That's why I'm I'm in a guinea tea with my chain on and eating gabagool.
You need a pinky ring
that's
and one of those bracelets
Oh, please.
with the gob.
As I get older, the more hair I get on my body, I'm just gonna augment it with more gold
More
jewelry.
jewelry.
Yeah.
I want to get so fat like Tony Soprano, where the bowl of ice cream sits perfectly on my belly. I don't got to do anything. I just use a spoon to eat it, and it
Oh,
just stays there.
the dream.
Dream.
Fantastic.
Um, so yeah, next week, My Cousin Vinny. That's my pick.
Love it.
I'm
Hope you
I'm ready
join
for
us.
it.
Yeah. It was again, there was a I was stressing. I was stressing because I had a number of I watched like 10, 15 minutes of like 8 different films in the beginning because I was like, I want them to like it.
What was the what was the top three?
So My Cousin Vinny, Hot Fuzz was the strong, really strong contender. Um, what else was there? I don't remember now, but I definitely watched a bunch of. Oh, Scott Pilgrim was up there. Then I was thinking about like, gosh, should I do like maybe more of a classic, like a Mel Brooks movie? That was, like Blazing Saddles, High Anxiety, something like that. Airplane, we talked about it, Major
Oh, Airplane.
League, like a funny, like sports comedy. And then I was like, some weird stuff. But yeah, let's go with something that everyone likes. My Cousin Vinny.
Love it.
Faces of Death.
That's right.
Secretariat winning the Triple Crown.
Ah, please, you would have got me in tears. First person to cry on his podcast.
Fast. No, when we did the plummies, I cried.
That was a
Not
that was a
real
different
tears,
cry.
but I cried about something.
Yeah, the internet has gone crazy ever since that film. I mean, the feedback I've gotten from people, please forget about it.
Please. Um, all right. Well, again, thanks for listening all this way. We really appreciate it. Send us some emails. Again, thank you to Phil for sending us an email about last week. But let us know your thoughts on Social Network, or I told you we're doing My Cousin Vinny. Get us some emails in about that. I don't know. We love you. Anything else? Tell him good night, Robbie.
Good night, Winklevi. If you were the inventors of Facebook, you would have invented Facebook.
Hmm. Hey, Robbie, what's cooler than $1 million?
2 million?
$1 billion.
Maybe I should have picked Austin Powers.
Oh, please.